kids. And I could never imagine, you know, my stepdaughter, she had even put in her bio on Instagram that she wanted to kill herself. And I saw it, I immediately called her. Her mother doesn't monitor her social media, so she has no idea. Like, I'm sure I make her mad because I saw her cussing on there not too long ago. And I text her and I said, first of all, you're still a child in your mother's house. You're not a grown-up. And secondly, that's not appropriate. You know, you need to stop doing that. And I told her, I said, I'm watching you and I don't want to see it anymore. And this is not even my biological daughter, but I love her like she's mine. And when I saw in there that she wanted to kill herself, I immediately called her and asked her, is this what you're thinking about? Is this what you want to do? And she was like, sometimes. So I asked them to bring her over here. I brought all of her siblings in this room and we all talked to her because I need her to know that she matters and that she's important. And this is what I'm saying to you, because if you don't monitor your kids, you have no idea what they're doing online, the things that they're into. And you need to see these things, you know, because things happen. And then us as parents are like, oh my God, I didn't know, I didn't understand. And yes, I understand that in these busy times that I'm asking, maybe this sounds like I'm asking a lot. And it's just one more thing that you have to do. And I do understand that, especially as a single parent, how tiring being a parent can be. But I promise you, and if you put the work in, you know, your children are going to know how much you love them and how much you care for them. And that, you know, there's nothing that you wouldn't do for them. Because I think the pressures and I'm going to have to start another video. But I just want to say that, you know, your kids need to know that you care. And I think the hardest thing that you can do is be humble. I do want to say this, that a lot of kids, you feel like you're doing your job as a parent, right? And, you know, you're making sure that your kids are safe. You're teaching them how to be a good human being, all these things. And then they go to school and stuff happens and you're like, what's wrong with you? And I taught you better than this. And sometimes you try to feel, you know, you may feel like you missed the mark somewhere, but that's not what it is. I need you to understand that if you model good behavior in front of your children, tell them all the right things to do, that there's pressure of acceptance at school that your children are going through. They want to be accepted on campus. They don't want other people talking about them. They don't want to be the kid that's not doing that. Unfortunately, that pressure is strong. And it doesn't mean you're a bad parent. It doesn't mean they're a bad kid. It just means that they want to be accepted in their social group, you know? And that's human. We all want to be loved. We all want to be a part of something. Your kids are going to make mistakes. I mean, that's part of life, but they won't learn. You know, if they don't maybe hang around the wrong crowd, they won't know that they shouldn't have done that. And the hard part, I think, with your kids talking to you, because I know for me, you know, I told my kids, you know, if you're ready to have sex, come and tell me. I thought I was always open, and then when I found out they were, like, it really hurt my feelings. Like, I was devastated because I was like, what is wrong? You know, and I blamed myself. But the thing is, at the end of the day, they didn't want to tell me because they didn't want to disappoint me. You know, even though I was always like, tell me so we can get you on birth control, like, you know, they didn't want to be disappointed. But then after we had the conversation, it's like, Mom, you know, everyone is doing this, you know, and now working in a school, I see that, you know, the pressure, how these kids are, you know, how they carry themselves, the things that they do, you know, and humans being humans. As a parent, you have to be humble enough to know that you didn't make all the right decisions. You know, you made mistakes as a child, and, you know, you have to be there to support your kids and talk to them and help them, you know, come through these situations. You know, because bullying is real and kids are mean. You know, like, you hear other kids at school telling another child they're broke. Neither one of these kids have a job, right? So whatever it is they have on is because of their parents' money, not because of their money, you know. But still, you will hear them talk about, you know, them talk about each other and how much money they have, and the ones that don't, you know. You have, you know, and I would always tell my kids, don't do that, you know, because you don't know, you know, how much money these kids' parents have, you know, and some of these kids do have jobs, you know, so they do have money. But the majority of them, that's not the case, you know, and they're talking about other children, and, you know, the pressure that, you know, girls make mistakes and they like a boy and they think having sex with him is going to make him like her back, not knowing that he just wants to have sex with her. And now he done told all his friends and they're all trying to talk to her, and she just thinks that, you know, they like her, but that's not what it is. They have no idea that this boy went and told. So now all these other boys are trying to do this, and they may fall into this trap of, you know, they don't know that these boys are running game on her. And, you know, it's just, there's a lot of things that they go through, you know, drugs, and, you know, there are kids selling drugs in schools, and, you know, kids that are doing drugs at school, you know, and it's a really, it's like a culture of its own, you know, at a school. So, I mean, I think another important thing is for you to be involved in the school, and it's so hard these days with jobs and everything, but what I see working in schools is parents who are involved in their kids' lives at school, you know, it's a different environment. It's a different school culture. And, you know, it helps a lot with the, you know, with grades, with attendance, with some of the social issues that the kids go through. So, you know, I just want to say two things closing out this video, that if you're being bullied, you can go to a teacher, you can go to a counselor, you can go to administration. And the thing is, these days, there are too many incidents happening. And I understand going through, I didn't say anything. My parents didn't even know. I didn't tell them, I don't think until I was grown, you know, that these things were going on, and I was experiencing these things at school. I just kind of dealt with it and kept it pushing. And I know for me, it was a lot easier because that was school. And then I had my home life, and my home life wasn't bad. So, you know, there's so much. If someone is bullying you, please go tell an adult. Talk to someone. You know that there's hope, you know, and it's hard. Like, if I understand, if you have a phone, if you have laptops and computers and all these things, it's like, it kind of seems like you can't get away from it, you know. But the one thing you can do is uninstall apps. Don't block people. Do everything that you can on your end, and then get help. Because I think at this point, and I'm saying this to you parents, your children need help. They need to help you. You know, stuff has to be done. You need to go to the school, and you need to talk to administration on behalf of your children. If your child comes home and tells you that they're being bullied or harassed, support them. Go to the school, talk to administration so that these things can be stopped. You know, we have got to try as much as we can to be more supportive of our kids and involved in their school lives, because there is a culture at school that, you know, is going on. And I promise you, you know, some kids, they're like me. Like, I was so scared of my mama that I didn't do nothing. Peer pressure didn't work on me, because my friends would be like, oh, let's go skip for lunch, or skip and not come back to school. And I'd be like, no, I'm staying here. And they'd be like, oh, you're so lame. You don't never want to. Exactly right. Because you don't get in trouble. Your mama don't do the stuff that my mama does. I would be on punishment. She would take away my phone. I would have to stay in my room. You know, I had consequences for the things that I did wrong. So, you know, and it's just like, I had learned enough by the time I got to high school that it just didn't matter. My mom knew so many people. She was a cosmetologist, so she did hair. She worked in a few salons, so she knew a lot of people. And it seemed like no matter what I did, she always found out. And then on top of that, she had a relationship with God. And, you know, she had just proven to me time and time again that no matter what I did, she was always going to find out. So by the time I got to high school, it was just like, I better not do, nothing, because I didn't like getting in trouble. I didn't like being on punishment. I didn't like any of those things. So it was easier for me just to stay out of trouble, and it didn't matter what my friends were doing, having sex, doing drugs, drinking, skipping school, doing all those things. I wasn't doing that. I was going to school. I was minding my business. I was playing basketball and volleyball. Like, I didn't have time for all of that. I just didn't have time for that. So, it was easier for me. But I do, having a parent is a strong influence, because like I said, there's a school culture that, we know nothing about, where you might have the most respectful kid at home, but at school, because we are limited on the consequences that we can give kids and what we're able to do, and they know that. They're not stupid, especially by the time they get to high school. They're texting each other while they're in class to get out of class, and now they can't do that. But you need to be more involved in your children's school life. Ask them about their day, talk to them about what's going on, and that's what I mean. Talk to your kids, connect with your kids, do all of those things, because like I said, every time I read a story where you have a child in elementary that has taken their life because of bullying, it breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart. And if you're being bullied, tell somebody, talk to your parents, if you can't talk to your parents, go talk to your counselor at school. That's their job. They're supposed to be there to help you and protect you. So if you are experiencing those things in your life, talk to someone, let them know. And if you feel like nobody cares about you, I do, because you matter.